not only do you get a delayed response, in many cases, you don't get a response at all.
The promise to...
When you call 911, not only do you get a delayed response, in many cases, you don't get a response at all.
The promise to not raise property taxes is not the only campaign pledge the mayor appears to be backpedaling on. There's another that involves public safety. Mayor Brandon Johnson campaigned promising to add 200 more detectives.
But again today, he's claiming to have accomplished that task, even though the numbers don't back it up. WJN Investigates' Ben Bradley explains.
I promised that during my first term that I would promote 200 new detectives to the Chicago Police Department. Well, we have achieved that, and we did it without increasing the number of sworn officers.
Just because 200 detectives have been promoted doesn't mean there are 200 more people solving crime in the city. Data analyzed by WGN Investigates show there were 1,102 detectives the month Johnson took office. Now there are just 2 more.
I would say those words today are hollow words. To say that you've made these promotions and not hiring new officers, you're just playing a shell game with the numbers.
Yeah, you would think if he said, we are going to have 200 more detectives, that there would be 200 more detectives, and clearly there isn't. So we'll see how he chooses to rationalize that.
The mayor's office now claims the campaign promise was for 200 new detectives, not 200 more detectives.
Investigates police staffing troubles. The number of officers on the job in Chicago is at a record low.
And that's despite Mayor Brandon Johnson increasing CPD's budget and his promise to hire 200 new detectives. WGN investigative reporter Ben Bradley has found some of the mayor's claims on policing don't add up.
On many nights,
Benefit 17, the citywide robbery in progress with the backlog, no cards available.
calls for help can go unanswered.
That's negative. We do not have a way.
It's
Benefit 17, the citywide robbery in progress with the backlog, no cards available.
calls for help can go unanswered.
That's negative. We do not have a wagon available.
On the weekends during the holidays, it's almost insurmountable. CTA, they're chasing a guy in the red line. In the last few minutes, there was a shooting on the CTA. There was a carjacking on 79. Very dangerous.
George Bliss has been monitoring Chicago police radio traffic since he was in high school more than 40 years ago. He created a computer program that helps him track traffic on no fewer than 16 police zones, covering 3 million city residents.
Just 10 years ago, if you were robbed on State Street, somebody took your wallet or your iPhone, the police were there right away. Not now.
Police zones, covering 3 million city residents.
Just 10 years ago, if you were robbed on State Street, somebody took your wallet or your iPhone, the police were there right away. Not now, because the backlog is so enormous.
The backlog has grown as the number of officers has shrunk. In 2018, Chicago had more than 13,200 sworn officers. Today, that number has dropped to 11,580, a decline of nearly 13%.
You had a systematic beatdown of, in general, nationwide, right, of policing, making police officers out to be the bad guys. And what that did was it made it extremely difficult to hire.
We got a lot of people detained over here.
When looters swarmed a stop freight train in mid-October, police appeared outmatched. Only 6 arrests reported, mainly misdemeanors. The train heist occurred on the border of 2 police districts that together have 170 fewer officers than they did in 2019.
In the news an awful lot these days, particularly ahead of the early release of yet more thousands of prisoners from our prison. In the news an awful lot these days, particularly ahead of the early release of yet more thousands of prisoners from our prisons, because we haven't got space for them this time, though. An awful lot more of them will be violent criminals. Let's talk to Chris Phillips. He's a former head of our National Counter-Terrorism Security Office. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Julia.
Thank you so much for joining us. Look, we had this last month, and there were quite a few who slipped through the net who were not supposed to be violent criminals, but actually an awful lot of them did get out. We had these scenes, people, cracking open bottles of fizz, celebrating, people arrived, being picked up by a Lamborghini. I get some of the girls, they wore their best tracksuits to be their men from prison. Not very edifying scenes. Quite a lot of these people already recalled to prison. They breached the terms of their license. Some committed other crimes. There's someone who's been accused of committing a sexual assault within hours of leaving prison. We're going to see more people arrive being picked up by a Lamborghini. I get some of the girls, they wore their best tracksuits to be their men from prison. Not very edifying scenes. Quite a lot of these people already recalled to prison. They breached the terms of their license. Some committed other crimes. There's someone who's been accused of committing a sexual assault within hours of leaving prison. We're going to see more people, more dangerous people coming out of prison tomorrow. We're going to see more people, more dangerous people coming out of prison tomorrow. And a lot of people are wondering, why are these people coming out of prison when we're putting people like Lucy Connolly, a woman with no track record at all, no criminal record, who'd been jailed for 2.5 years?
Barakatha Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Shalom to the elect of Yasharallah. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and salutations unto the elect when feeding the sheep of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai in sincerity and truth. With this great gospel coming out of our Bible, man. We're getting closer and closer to the darkness, the dark days, right? The society being fully in perils, in full perils, right? We talking about people straight turning on each other, right? For lack of resources, you see what's happening, right? They're preparing you for chaos. They're preparing you for this chaos so they can bring in that order, that NWO, that New World Order. Right, where they have you in full submission, and you're chipped up, and you live in these cities where you really can't maneuver too much, right? Because everything that we're seeing has been planned a long time ago by these elites, right? And these devils know that their time is short. They know that the time is short because everything is going against their system, right? You got fucking criminals being released early. Right? About to have a lot of criminals being released early over in Europe. It says over 1,000 inmates set for release. Inside a UK prison has over 1,000 inmates set for early release, right? And we ain't talking about just somebody who was playing with the computer, stealing money. You talking about violent offenders, right? You talking about violent offenders, fights, drugs, and suicide. Inside an infamous jail where violence rages as 1,700 prisoners prepare for early release. For early release, and you got these ballers, these cocky motherfuckers, right? One of them hopped out into a Lamborghini, a bunch of them, right? It says prisoners picked up in a Lamborghini as drug dealers and burglars celebrate laborers' early jail release. That's what's happening around the world. You got criminals being let out, you got police understaffed. Right, everything is being prepped for all fucking hell to break loose. Read the book of Isaiah 48, verse 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. Anything they do over in England, in Europe, they're gonna do over here in the Americas. You've seen a spirit of defunding the police, right? Because they want this bitch to kick off so they could really bring in the military. The military, right? So they could have that moment where they just purge a whole bunch of people, and guess what? And ain't nobody can say or do nothing about it. Right? That's what's about to happen. There's gonna be a lot of dead people a lot of dead people on the streets of America. That's why I put up that picture that says the town is like a big pussy just waiting to get fucked, and it's gonna get fucked up, right? Because the spirits of these people, when there's a lack of bread, when there ain't no fucking food, right? When ain't no lights on, right? It's already getting dark out here. It says Isaiah 48 and 22, there is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. Yeah, the wicked is the Edomites. And you're watching these Edomites countries get torn down, right? Get destroyed. And what? They're being revealed for who they are, the wicked. I mean, there ain't no peace to the wicked. You don't get this through righteousness. Everything that you got have accumulated. You got it through thievery and robbery. So guess what? You're going down by violence. Isaiah 48 and 14, it says, all ye assemble yourselves and hear, which among them have declared these things. Yahweh have loved him. He will do his pleasure on Babylon, and his arm shall be on the Chaldeans. And we see it's only going to get worse for this fucking place. Right? They're going to release these inmates. You just seen a bunch of videos. I got a bunch of videos I'm about to load up later about these neighbors just shooting the shit out of each other. Right, neighbors opening fire on each other. Right, everything the scriptures speak about is coming to light. It's happening, right? 2 Ezra 15 verse 19, it reads, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of a lack of bread and for great tribulation." Right? Because, when these stores get shut, more jobs. You just had Pepsi shut down in Chicago. Motherfuckers got escorted off their job by the police. It was all good just a week ago, right? So a lot of businesses shutting, right? A lot of families who were working class families becoming the homeless class families, van life families, tent life families, right? Families being separated, man. Wifey mad because you ain't got a job no more. Children looking at you crazy because you can't provide, and they too goddamn lazy to go out and help provide for the family, right? You got a fucked up family structure in Babylon the Great. So it says you got to worry about your neighbors, you got to worry about them of your household, right? So it's going to get ugly. 2 Ezra 15 and 19, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of a lack of bread and for what? Great fucking tribulation." That's what's coming. A lot of tribulation. A lot of suffering, right? Read 2 Ezra. Let's go back up to 15 and 17. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." And that's what's about to happen. Because one thing you already know, these motherfucking rich people, they gonna hire their own protection, their own security. And guess what? There ain't gonna be no rules and regulation in them days, especially when you got cities where police is vanishing. Right, the whole police departments is shutting down in different places. Right, they got to bring in sheriffs and shit. But guess what? It ain't enough. They're going to have to bring in the military very soon. That's going to be the next thing, the military. And that's when you're going to know who's the Lord's chosen, because the Lord's chosen is going to be protected. Right? The Lord's servants is going to eat in them days. Right? Amos 9 verse 10, it reads, "All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us." Man, the news is telling you what's coming. The prophets is telling you what's coming. Fucking even the movies are telling you what's coming. Right? Everything is telling you what's coming. Bad, dark, evil motherfucking days. Right? But no, don't worry. We're gonna be alright. I got money saved up for that. Everything's cool. No, ain't nothing cool. And you gonna realize that it's like a motherfucker don't know until he's in that fire, right? What's that cartoon with Bugs Bunny? Boy, they got his ass in a pot cooking. He didn't even know he was being cooked. That's you stupid ass people here in Babylon the Great. You in that fucking pot burning like a motherfucker. And you feeling good. Guess what? When the Lord turned that heat up, that's when you're going to know what you're in. It says, "All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword," which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. And we already know when that purge kick off, a lot of Israelites are going to die because they don't know how to protect themselves. They don't know how to survive. They don't know how to hunt, right? They don't know how to live off the land, right? And a lot of them, they're going to stay in these cities, right? In these cities where ain't no food, so it's going to be cannibalism, right? You're going to smell your fucking neighbor cooking his wife, right? You're going to smell dead bodies in them buildings, big-ass project fucking buildings, nothing but killers and dope fiends, right? And evil spirits, right? Even in these rich high-rise motherfucking buildings, these crackers going to turn on each other. It's just going to be gunshots being heard all throughout the city. Buildings on fire, right? Bitches screaming from being ravaged, right? It's gonna get beautiful out here. It says this town is like one big pussy waiting to get fucked, right? That's why they keep giving them purge movies. And purge movies is what's about to come, right? Lawlessness, no peace, no safety, no police, no fucking help. Read this. It says, reality check. "Violent criminals released early, putting your family in danger." No shit. They know what they doing. They gonna make it so bad that you people gonna beg the military, "Mr. President, bring in the military, please, Mr. President." The cities are overran by criminals, by migrants. Oh, Mr. President, please. And guess what? You're going to put in that order. And guess what? The motherfucking military troops coming in to lock down these cities. Right? They might even bring in the UN. And you know the UN don't give a damn about nobody nowhere because they ain't they peoples. They'll fuck around and send some Chinese UN motherfuckers over here, some African UN motherfuckers over here who don't give a damn about an American. Right? Don't care about an American. Right? Because these nations, what they about to do, they about to turn on Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great about to turn on Babylon the Great. I'm reading the book of Isaiah 13 verse 11 and it reads, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible, right? That's what the Lord really about to do. But on a minute scale, just right now in these cities, man, a lot of pride about to be shut the fuck down once they know, man, damn, the police ain't coming to help me, especially you women. You haughty-spirited assholes walking around selling that funky pussy. Right? Walking around being a harlot in the streets late at night. Guess what? Ain't gonna be no fucking protection. When DJ Dick pull up, horny as hell, about to throw that shit up in your body, right? That's what's coming. Women about to be ravaged. Men about to be kidnapped. Right? Children gonna be kidnapped. It's gonna be like a third world country shit, right? They're gonna be sending your motherfucking daughter's fingers to you, talking about, man, if you want this bitch back, send this money here, right? It says, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. Why? Because there ain't gonna be nobody to protect you. Nobody to protect you. No fucking police, no FBI, no CIA, just evil spirits, right? Roaming around, hungry, thirsty, desperate, horny, right? It says, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Right? Because this is really shutting down Esau Edom. This is really a shutdown of Esau Edom's system, the so-called white man who thought he was untouchable, unbreakable, unvisitable. Now he's being visited, right? His cities are being troubled, right? Misery is spreading all throughout his cities, man. And there's absolutely nothing that he could do about it. Nothing that he could do about it. I'm reading the book of Nahum 3 verse 1. It reads, woe to the bloody city. It's full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not. The noise of the whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels of the prancing horses and the jumping of chariots. The horsemen lift up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of the corpses. They stumble upon corpses, right? It says, because of the multitude of whoredom of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredom, families through what her witchcraft, right? The Lord is preparing what death for your ass. It says, behold, I am against thee. I am against thee, right? It says, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame, right? Because this was the place of riches, the place of prosperity. Now it's the place of what? Despair. The place of dope fiends and homelessness and criminals and people fighting, arguing all the fucking time, right? A place of gun violence and incarceration, right? What happened to Babylon? What happened to America? That's the question. And not just America, the European countries, right? Right, all them fucking European countries is going down, right? It's the wrap for Esau Edom. Shalom.